Comment 1411 is until you're extremely experienced and you've got to the point where, to quote Hegarty from Hegarty's Maths, you practice stuff not just to the point where you can get it right, but where you can't get it wrong. Till you're at that point, 1411 is an example of a suggestion where I really think you should do it exactly as I've suggested. And 1411 is about the similarity trap when you get given a clue about area. So maybe that's 3 centimeters squared and that's 5. So actually that'll be 4 centimeters squared and that'll be 5 centimeters squared. So you're given a clue about area, but you get asked a question about volume. So maybe that's 10 liters, that whole sort. And you're asked, what's this volume? It's not just area and volume, it's also length. So let's say I told you that that was 10 meters across there. So it's a bad example. What would that be there? Now the scheme I've suggested is to have 3 arrows for length, area and volume, and to put the scale factors for all 3 arrows on, even though the question might involve only 2. It's not just the arrows, it's the scale factors. So in this question here, I've got a 10 becoming an x for length, and I've got an area of 4 becoming a area of 5. Now, I'll tell you in a second why I recommend this, but I'll just show you how it goes. You can do it in 2 stages if you want. If you can't think how a 4 becomes a 5, then just go via the number 1. So divide by 4 times by 5. Or you can just go 5 divided by 4 on the calculator, find out what that is, and that's your scale factor. So 1.25 that is. Now, here's the thing. Once you've got that, I'm recommending you complete all 3 of these scale factors according to the following principle. If you have that, then that will be the square root of it. You need it to be the case that that is the square of that. So if you have this, then you square root it on your calculator. That's the top scale factor. That needs to be the cube of that. So just take that and wrap it in a cube symbol. And I'll now say why I recommend that. It's because there's a really simple check you can do to make sure your scale factor is right. Check that that times that is equal to that. If it's not, then you made a mistake. So I'll give you another example. If a 3 was become, let's say I was asking you what happens to an area of 5 and an area of 6 became an area of 15. Okay, so 6 to 15 is timesing by 2.5. That just comes off a calculator by going that divided by that. That needs to be the cube of that. So just take the number and put it in a cube root symbol, and take that and put it in a squaring situation. And that times that will be this. You can check it on the calculator if you want. Literally type that times by that and then check that you get this. If it is, then you're good to go. You can now do 5 times this and x will be your answer when you do that times that. So the scheme in 411, it's 3 arrows with 3 scale factors, even for the one that you didn't end up using. Here I didn't use length, here I didn't use volume. I'm saying who cares? The point is the scale factor, so you can just convince yourself that that is the cube of that. Test it on a calculator. That's the square of that. Test it on a calculator. And that times that is that. Test it on a calculator.